Hello? Hello, can you hear me? I've been trying to reach you. Hello? Hello, come back. I know I just heard your voice. Come back. Come back. Damn it. Narc to radio control. We lost another one. We'll continue to look for more. Until then, keep your eyes on the skies. Welcome to Overtime Alien, hosted by your favorite humanoid, the Alien Narc, bringing you research and information from the Earth's past and present time. Buckle up, stay seated, and join us on an extraterrestrial journey. Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Overtime Alien. This is your host, the Alien Narc. Today, for our very first episode, I really just wanted to give a little bit of an intro to who I am, what I like, what I do, and share with you my personal UFO encounter. And I hope to hear back from so many of you so we can share all of your stories. So during the day, I work, I come home, I eat, sleep, and dream about the paranormal and aliens, things that I don't understand, things that I want answers to, things that I want the government to divulge. The list goes on, right? There's so many things that in the UFO realm, in the paranormal realm, that we don't understand, that we want to understand. And sometimes it takes a little push from us to get other people to really think about it and to consider the things that we study, that we look into, and what's going on in the skies. What's going on with humans that have had these experiences, that have been allegedly abducted, that have had experiments done on them, that have had things removed or placed into their body, people that have suffered from lost time. There are so many different aspects to the stories and to the research that has been done. But as far as I'm concerned, in all honesty, no one is going to know these stories, no one is going to do the research unless we do it. If we aren't doing it and we aren't finding the information and putting everything out there, our friends and family, our neighbors, people in other countries, they aren't going to know what's going on in your hometown, in your city, in your country, because most of the time, and I don't know why, but the UFO topic, the topic of aliens, other life outside of the Earth, always gets shut down or covered up. Oh, we don't have any information on that. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, that was a solar flare. Like, there'll always be excuses, but when are we going to start getting the answers? Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? Everything you need to create, share, and grow your podcast for free. Unlimited free hosting, one-click distribution, record from anywhere, monetize your podcast. Join Anchor today. Trust me, you're not going to regret this decision. Hello and welcome back. So, I would like to get into my own personal UFO encounter now. A little backstory. I had just gotten home from some time away and was preparing to go back to college. So I was living with my parents. I was about 23 and was going to be living with them for a few months until I could move up to my school and begin my next semester. And I was looking for money. I was working as a janitor in a gas station and working the register on weekends. I was really just looking for anything that I could do. And I got home one day and my mom was like, hey, you're not going to believe this, but I heard that there's this job opening and they're having a meeting tonight. It's kind of hush hush. And I was like, okay, like this sounds, kind of weird, kind of creepy almost, but all right, I'll give it a try. And so she gives me the information. I give the guy a call. And he's like, all right, meet us in this area at this time tonight. And if you have a friend or anyone else that's looking for a job, bring them too. It's like, okay. So I did have a friend that was looking for a job, some quick money. It was only a 2-week job. And I was like, hey, man, why don't you come out with me? We'll probably be working together. It won't be a bad deal. And he agreed. That sounds like a good idea. And so we go to this meeting, and we're told there's a private film company. We'll be going out in the desert, and we'll be in charge of daytime and nighttime security. And they needed someone to start immediately that night because all the equipment was out there from the filming they had done that day. And so me and my friend volunteered. Like, yeah, we'll take the night shift. And he's like, great. Go home, pack yourself some food, some snacks. Definitely going to want some drinks, some caffeine. It's going to be a long night. And I was like, okay, we can do this. So we go home. I go back to my house, get some things together, and dress a little warmer because out here where I live, it might be really hot during the day, but it really chills off on the desert at night. So me and my buddy load up in his truck and head out to the location he asked us to go to that night. And after we get there, he's like, hey, he walks us around. He's like, this is where all the equipment is. These are all the entrances where people can come in. Just make sure that people understand that this area is reserved for a private film company. They can't come in, and they'll be expected to leave. Basically, it kind of felt like a bouncer at a strip club, except I was kicking people out of the desert. Felt kind of weird at times. But anyways, we start our first night. And remember, this is our very first night there. And me and my buddy are just kind of we got out of the truck, walked around for a while. We're stargazing, we're having snacks, listening to music. And after a little while, we're getting kind of bored. Nothing's happening, nothing's going on. And out there, all you can hear is crickets. It's just silent. It's silent out there. There was no breeze that night, nothing. And so I remember it was about 2:30 in the morning, and my buddy elbows me, and he's like, hey, are you seeing this? And I was like, what? And he was like, look at this. He's like, you might have to get out of your car to see it. And I was like, oh, okay. Or not out of my car, out of his truck. And so I jump out and look up. And sure enough, maybe 500 yards in front of me, not quite half a mile, I look up and you see the standard, cylinder-shaped UFO. I mean, it was a unidentified aerial phenomenon. I did not know what it was. I had never seen it before. And the bottom of it was pulsing, these different colors. I remember them being bright colors. As hard as I try, I still can't remember the exact colors. But I want to say it was like a red, orange, and a bluish green that was coming from the bottom of this craft. And we just stared at it. And it was hovering, it wasn't moving, and we couldn't hear it. But there it was. And we just watched it and watched it. And the next thing we knew, we were waking up in my friend's truck to the sound of our boss pulling up behind us. And I remember us both looking at each other. And I asked him, do you remember getting into the car? And he said, no. All I remember was standing outside and looking at that thing that happened, right? And I was like, oh yeah, that's about the only thing that I do remember. But how did we get back in his truck? What happened? And where did the time go? Because by then, the sun had already come up. At least it was coming up over the mountainside to the east of us. But where did that lost time go? And what happened? I have always wondered. My buddy, he's not too keen to even talk about the situation or what happened that night. But there is still that huge part of me that wants to know. What was it? What happened? And did something happen to us? But this is a question I guess we'll both take to our grave. Because I've talked to people about it. I've posted on Reddit. I've posted in different medias just to ask people what happened when they suffered from lost time and believed that they may have had that experience. And I got a lot of good answers back, a lot of explanations, but they all basically started with, oh, you have to go get hypnotized and find out where that lost time went. And that was just something that I was not comfortable with. That was not about to happen. And so still I sit here and I wonder and I think, and it drives me crazy that part of my brain is somehow shut off to that part, that time, that date, that hour, whatever it may have been exactly. I really sometimes wish I knew. And a part of me sometimes wishes that I was more comfortable with trying to find out exactly what it was that happened by any means necessary. But until then, I'll keep my eyes on the skies. I'll keep watching out for you. And we will keep our eyes open for any new research that is done, any new sightings that can be found, and we will do whatever we can to debunk them or find the pieces of them that don't make sense, that are unexplainable, that even some of the greatest scientists will scratch their heads over. But until next time, this has been the Alien Narc, and we can't wait to share more information with you next week. You all have a wonderful night, and remember to keep your eyes on the skies. This has been your favorite humanoid host, the Alien Narc, only here on the Overtime Alien Podcast. Be sure to click that favorite button, add us to your playlist, so you'll never miss an episode. Buckle up, stay seated, and join us on our extraterrestrial journey.